Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Very much, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, now I'll consider Standing Order 127, 1, 2, 3, and 4 that requires spokespersons from opposition political parties. I now recognize the spokesperson for the Malawi Congress Party. Spokesperson.
Thank you so much, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker, for granting me the floor to respond to Bill 24 of 2025, European Investment Bank M1 Road Rehabilitation Loan Authorization Bill. The negotiations for this bill took place earlier this year, and as the party that was then in government, we're excited to see the bill finally here in Parliament for approval. Let me start by thanking the leadership of the Malawi Congress Party, namely His Excellency, the former State President, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, as well as the leader of opposition, for entrusting me with the responsibility to respond to this bill on behalf of the mighty Malawi Congress Party. The bill seeks to authorize the Minister of Finance on behalf of Malawi government to borrow from the European Investment Bank an amount equivalent to 38 million euros as additional funding for M1 road rehabilitation. As we are all aware, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker, this project is very important and it includes 5 sections. The Garonga-Songwe section, which is 46 kilometers, Kacheche-Chiweta, which is 66.5 kilometers, Jenda Mzimba, 46.5 kilometers, Kasungu to Jenda, 85.5 kilometers, and Kia to Kasungu, which is 102 kilometers. The Malawi Congress Party wholeheartedly supports this very important bill, and it is gratifying, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker, to note that for the past 2-3 years, we've witnessed tremendous works done over this road. As you are aware, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker, this road turned into a death trap for the road users. And so it is very pleasing to note that the road is taking shape. It is also more pleasing, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker, to note that the quality of the road is very high. You look at the thickness, it's massive. And we are very excited with the works that are being done. And as Malawi Congress Party, we 100% support this very important bill. Mr. Deputy Speaker, as I conclude, as you are aware, government is a going concern. It is a continuing entity, and it's therefore exciting as well, pleasing to note that the current government is continuing with development projects which were actually taking place during the Malawi Congress Party government. And quite a lot of them across the country. If you're talking of, M1, you can also talk of the, the Lake Shore, you talk of the Nsipe, Liwonde, all the way to Zomba. A lot of projects that are, have been taking place, and we are glad that this government is continuing from where the Chakwera administration left. The past administration almost turned the whole of this country into a construction site. Everywhere there was construction taking place, and we're excited that the current government is continuing from there. Without further ado, Mr. Deputy Speaker, as Malawi Congress Party, we fully support this very important bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, spokesperson. UTM.
Thank you very much, Honorable First Deputy Speaker. Let me begin by sincerely thanking the Honorable Minister for the well-delivered statement on the bill. Well, the clarity, First Deputy Speaker, and purpose contained in the Minister's presentation demonstrate government's commitment to improve the lives of Malawians. And for that, we are grateful. Mr. Speaker, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, as we consider this bill, it is important to highlight the broader economic benefits expected from the project contained within it. According to the analysis conducted during the project appraisal, these investments carry positive economic returns. And as UTM, Mr. Speaker, it is our wish that as a country, we will only be borrowing on projects that have positive returns. The past years, we borrowed over 17 trillion, but there is a few to point at. That is unacceptable, First Deputy Speaker. This project has a positive NPV and the IRR that exceeds normal threshold for public investment. This means, Mr. Speaker, that every kwacha invested is expected to generate more value for our economy in the long term. The Honorable Minister has spoken about infrastructure and social services, and indeed, these projects will reduce transport costs, improve access to markets, stimulate trade, and create jobs. We have seen how our colleagues in the northern region and those that use the corridor have suffered for the past years, mainly at Weta. We cannot continue to let our people suffer as such. Mr. Speaker, these benefits from the backbone of a positive NPV and strong IR, we have seen in these assessments. Simply put, Mr. Speaker, these are investments that pay back the nation over time. However, as a House, our role is to ensure that these projected benefits are fully realized. I wish, therefore, with great respect, to encourage the Minister to strengthen implementation oversight so that delays, cost escalations, and procurement challenges do not erode the strong economic returns we expect from this bill. With this consistent reporting and timely updates to Parliament, we can together safeguard the value embedded in these projects. Honourable Minister, your leadership is bringing forward a bill with a clear economic justification is commendable. As Parliament, we stand ready to support. As UTM, we stand ready to support in ensuring that positive NPV and strong IRR and the anticipated social benefit translate into real improvement for our people. With those remarks, I, on behalf of UTM, support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, spokesperson. Honourable members, you might be wondering why UTM has been given the opportunity to present on this specific bill. According to our own standing orders, it is the main opposition party, the Malawi Congress Party, which has the power of having a spokesperson, but it at the discretion of the chair sitting here, UTM had to be recognized to make those statements today. So if someone was asking, that's the reason why we've done that. Thank you very much. The bill debate is open, honour members. The debate is open. Leader? Oh, wait.
First Deputy Speaker, before I stood, there was a member who wants to take the floor to contribute on the bill. Once it's done, I will curtail.
Thank you, Leader, for that consideration. I now recognize the honourable member for Lilongwe Nyanja constituency. Thank you. Constituency is at the back there. Okay.
Thank you so much, Leader, for recognizing that I stood, and thank you so much, Your Honor, this First Deputy Speaker, for doing the same. Maybe before I know it's not allowed to address background noise, but indeed, I come from Vumbwe. That's where my mother comes from, and it's a fact. And I also come from Lilongwe. That's where my late dad was coming from. And I married at Male village in Lumpi, Tie Mankunikira. So I'm more Malawian than some of the people who think in that way. Anyway, he's my brother-in-law. Is fine. Those are honorable ministers, brother-in-law. Anyway, Your Honor, the First Deputy Speaker, I would like to thank the Minister of Finance for ably presenting the bill, which clearly seeks to empower the locals, seeks to improve our road network, and that is the way to go. But I would like to ask for an assurance. Can the Minister of Finance give an assurance to the House that the money that is going to be borrowed is going to be put to good use? This is premised on the fact that World Bank has been reflected in his submission. And listening to him, and in relation to what World Bank just a few days ago committed in terms of maize purchase, it is alleged that out of that, World Bank also pushed that the 45 million that it has asked, we had asked, it has to be moved around the projects which are already existing in this country. So in this case, AGCOM is bound to suffer. Even Regional Climate Resilience Project under World Bank is most likely going to suffer if we're going to use the position which World Bank has given us. Maize is very important, but I would like an assurance from the Minister that this money is not going to be diverted to do other things, because it is something that is going to be a law having been passed this afternoon. Are we not going to take that money and use it in other projects like purchase of maize? It is very important. We can look around within the country and source funds to provide for purchase of maize. But in relation that World Bank has been reflected, are we sure that this is not going to end up in the purchase of maize? But otherwise, this is something which is commendable. And I'm standing because I'm afraid that if we do what I've just said, it may affect the infrastructure development, and that will be a problem, because we have a Makanjira Road, which we approved, and that is waiting for the same funds. So I would like that kind of assurance through you, Your Honor, the First Deputy Speaker. Thank you so much for recognizing the people of Lilongwe, Nyanja Koswezi.
Thank you very much. The last to speak on this bill will be Lilongwe Likuni. I already recognize Lilongwe Likuni. You're going to speak in the next bill coming, and also at committee stage. Thank you. If you have questions to the Honourable Minister, we always respect you. This is your 4th term in Parliament, and we always give you preference. Thank you.
Thank you very much for recognizing Kelvin Mpande, the ghetto president, aka the People's Bay.
Honour member.
Yes.
Honour member, there's no Kevin Mpande in this house. Can we go straight to the business of the day?
Lilongwe Likuni constituency. The ghetto president, of course. Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker. I thank you very much, the Minister of Finance. But my concern is, as a country, yes, it's been borrowing. But what do we do to reduce the borrowing as a country? My focus is, as a country, we depend on taxes. Why can't you focus on the issue to do tax so that we can generate more, we can collect more through taxes? As a Minister of Finance, I would like to appeal to you that our focus should be coming up with policies. I support the borrowing. Yes, it is very important. But as Parliament, as a country, we need to focus on how do we collect more through taxes and through mining, of course. People are exploiting our minerals by exploring maybe 5 years, 10 years. But as Parliament, we need to come up with laws so that we can we can generate through our minerals that we have as a country. That should be the focus, my appeal, Honorable Minister. Through taxes, we can come up with policies to bring in more in the tax nest by reducing maybe tax rates. Tax rates in Malawi are too exorbitant. So when you reduce tax rates, we will be able to bring many people in the tax net. Let's also improve on maybe tax education, because many people in Malawi are not educated. They don't know issues to do with taxes. Come up with tax education. People should be able to know anything to do with taxes so that they should be able to be complying. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Leader?
First Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that debate be curtailed in order to allow the minister to wind up debate. I beg to move.
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, for allowing the minister to...
Minister, maybe a motion first.
Oh.
Yeah, honour members, we have a motion on the floor. We have a motion on the floor for debate to be curtailed to allow the honour minister to wind up on the motion. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The motion is carried. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Honour Minister of Finance, to wind up debate.
Thank you very much. By way of winding up, I would like to thank the spokespersons for both MCP and UTM for the positive response and for supporting the bill. I would like to assure the members on the other side of the aisle that this is DPP. This is DPP, which knows what prudence means. And I want to assure you that these are our projects. We started it, and it is this minister who presented this bill here. So I would want to assure you that we'll do it properly to the satisfaction of Malawians. I think there has been a request from UTM. There must be value for money, and that we need to strengthen implementation and monitoring, and also we continue reporting to the August House. I want to confirm to Honourable Member that that will be the case. While we are talking about value for money, and also in response to the issue that has been raised by Lilongwe Nyanja, if there is a party that uses money properly, it's DPP. When we left government, public debt was 4.1 trillion. Kwacha. 4.1 trillion. Can I give me an opportunity to speak? It was 4.1 trillion.
Order to my left.
In Malawi Kwacha. But our colleagues on the other side multiplied by 5 times. As we speak now is 21.6, and I'm told more is coming. More is coming. So the fact is that I want to assure the honourable member. I want to assure the honourable member that no project will suffer. Indeed, we have used some of the resources from World Bank, but there's a program already for replenishment. You get it? So no project is going to suffer. I also want to assure you that DPP will not do what the past government did. I just want to give you examples. Something that is on my table. We got fuel from DRC. That fuel was not used. It was given to a private trader for fuel in Malawi. We got fertilizer from Morocco for AIP. It went to wrong hands. So DPP will not do that. DPP will not do that. And also there was maize. There was maize that was supposed to go to the poor people.
Yes.
But it was labeled as a party maize and was being distributed for campaign. That will not happen. That will not happen for DPP. If anybody, I can challenge. If anybody wants evidence, if you need evidence, I'm prepared to bring it here.
Bring it.
I will bring it here. Lastly, I would want to comment also. I want to no problem.
Let's allow the minister to wind up. Immediately the minister winds up and the motion is carried, I will recognize you, Honorable Mlunguni, for a point of order. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I will try to emphasize the point that we'll manage the resources properly and there will be value for money. That's the point I will try to emphasize here, and not like what was happening before. Now, with regard to, I think, the observation made by Lilongwe Likuni, I also want to agree with you. They need to reduce borrowing, and also they need to generate more revenue. I want to agree with you, and I would want to assure you that we have an economic recovery plan in place, and that will be presented in this August House. I also want to say that on Friday, this coming Friday, after tomorrow, when I'm presenting the midterm budget, to move that Bill number 24 of 2025, entitled European Investment Bank M1 Road Rehabilitation Phase 2 Loan Authorization, be now read a second time.
Thank you very much, honour members. I now put a motion that the bill number...
Point of order.
I will recognize you immediately after, because there's a motion on the floor, I will recognize you immediately after. Honour members, I now put a question that bill number 24 of 2025, European Investment Bank, Malawi M1 Road Rehabilitation, be now read the second time. Those of the opinion say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Yeah, point of order, there's Mlunguni.
Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker, for giving the people of the Zamrunduni an opportunity to rise on a point of order. First Deputy Speaker, the Honourable Minister's responses are well appreciated. And in his response, he did speculate that there are people that made donations or governments that made donations to this country in form of fertilizer and fuel. And he goes on to say this matter is on his table and the fuel and the fertilizer never went through the government channels to benefit Malawians. The government is here to make sure that wrongs are corrected and not just coming here to make utterances, speculations, because that's not what Malawians want out there. if anyone took fertilizer that was meant for Malawi, if anyone diverted fuel that was meant for Malawi,
Exactly.
the duty of the government is to make sure that such people are brought to book.
Yes.
The Honorable Minister should not come here to make speculations, innuendos, those that stole must be brought to book. So I beg of you, Honorable Speaker, to call upon the Honorable Minister to name and shame the people that are behind the fertilizer and the fuel, not just to say words that are not that are just speculations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you very much. Order, honor members, order. Thank you very much. That order, Lilongwe Nyanja, order. Lilongwe Nyanja, order. Honor members, order, honor members. Thank you very much. I would like to, I'm being tempted to sustain your point of order. Actually, the Honourable Minister of Finance has said he has evidence, and at any given time, he's ready to bring forward that evidence to the House, and that will be respected. Honour members, the bill now. Honour members, the bill is now at committee stage. Leader, do you want me to recognize you before the committee stage? Thank you, Leader.
First Deputy Speaker, excuse me, can I have...
Leader is on the floor, honour members. Leader is on the floor, honour members. Order.
I just want to say one thing. We are in serious business here. And therefore, I would like to appeal to every member in this House to please maintain decorum. Let's avoid making unnecessary noise. The issues that have been raised will be addressed at an appropriate time. For now, let us concentrate on the bill that we want to dispose of. No, I'm just speaking to all sides of the House. Please, let's remain orderly. So even that side, even on our side, let us please maintain order, and so it is on that side. Please, please, please. Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Leader. That point is noted. Honour members, I recognize, I'm using my own discretion now to recognize a former chair of the previous committees to chair a committee stage. Was she a chair? I need to recognize a former chair. Those former chairs, please rise so you can be recognized. The honorable member for Chikwawa West, please come forward and chair the committee stage of the House. Thank you.
Honorable members, Welcome to the committee stage of Bill number 24 of 2025, European Investment Bank, Malawi M1 Road Rehabilitation 2C Loan Authorization. I wish to inform you that so far, the Chair has not received any notice of proposed amendments on this bill. If no one wishes to speak, I now recognize Honorable Member for Rumpi West. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Rumpi West wants to get a clarification from the Minister of Finance. The Chiweta, Kacheche to Chiweta stretch has been mentioned, but so far we have got a stretch from Chiweta to Karonga Boma, which is badly damaged.
Which clause are you quoting, Honorable Member?
I'm talking on the 46 kilometers that he mentioned.
Which clause are you quoting?
Clause 1B.
We are not debating at this point.
Yeah, it's a question.
You have to mention the clause. Which clause are you talking about? Yes, Honorable Member, you have to mention the clause.
The Minister says it. On the 47 kilometer.
Which clause?
Clause Karonga to Songwe border.
Honorable Member,
from the bill.
You don't have that clause, then take a seat.
Don't worry, keep time.
If no one wishes to speak, I now put a question. The question is that clauses 1 to 6 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Honorable members, this marks the end of the committee stage of Bill number 24 of 2025, European Investment Bank, Malawi M1 Road Rehabilitation 2C Loan Authorization. Thank you for your active participation.
Bills report stage, Bill number 24 of 2025, European Investment Bank, Malawi M1 Road Rehabilitation 2C, Loan Authorization.
I now call upon the Minister, the Honourable Minister, responsible to report on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker. Give me an opportunity to report on this particular bill. But allow me to address one important issue that has been raised by the honourable member. Yes, indeed, it's true that the Chiweta, there's a section that is terrible, and it will be difficult for people to travel during the rainy season. It's in the paper. I've read about it. I just want to assure the honourable member that this government, which takes into account the people's issues, we're going to address that issue, and maybe we could have a discussion after this, after we have passed the bills. With those remarks, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I beg to report that Bill number 24 of 2025, entitled European Investment Bank M1 Road Rehabilitation Phase 2C Loan Authorization, went through committee stage without amendments, and I beg to move that the third reading of the Bill number 24 of 2025 be taken today. Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, I now put a motion And the motion is that the third reading of Bill number 24, European Investment Bank, Malawi M1 Road Rehabilitation, be read. The third reading be taken today and now. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Bill's third reading, Bill number 24 of 2025, European Investment Bank, Malawi M1 Road Rehabilitation 2C, loan authorization.
Honour Minister for third reading.
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that Bill number 24 of 2025, entitled European Investment Bank, M1 Road Rehabilitation Phase 2C, loan authorization, be now read a third time and passed. I beg to move.
Thank you very much. Honour members, I now put a question. The question is now the Bill number 24, European Investment Bank, Malawi M1 Road Rehabilitation, be read a third time and pass. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the bill has passed. Thank you very much, honour members. Leader.
First Deputy Speaker, this in-law of ours is very, very talkative. We'll throw him out of the village. Yeah, but on a serious note, right honourable First Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that we. All right. I like to request that we proceed with the second bill, so that we dispose it of and then we can go for health break. If we do it quickly, we could probably have an early shower. You never know. But let us do it till the next bill.
Thank you very much. And to agree with you, Honourable Leader, with the time that we have in the afternoons, it's actually very difficult for the chair to suspend for a health break when the business is flowing the way it is flowing. So I know some honourable members would want to question that, but it is at the discretion of the chair to accord a health break. Our standing orders literally don't provide for that, so we will not be breaking for a health break. We will continue with the bills. And so, Leader, we are going to bill number 25. Is that the guidance?
Bill number 26.
Or bill number 26.
Government business bills.
Honour members, Honour members, I will now allow the Honour Minister to move the waiver of Standing Order 125-2 on the 28-day notice. Honour Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that notice period for circulation of the Bill number 26 of 2025 OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender, Water Supply and Sanitation Project Loan Authorization Bill 2025 be waived in order to allow the House to consider the bill because of its urgency and the importance for the following reasons. One, because the people around gender are not able to get potable and clean water, and it exposes their lives to diseases. And therefore, it is very important that we provide water as soon as possible to the people around the gender. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much, honour members. I now put the question that Standing Order 125 be waived for the bill to be introduced before the expiry of the 28-day notice. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Government Business Bills First Reading, Bill number 26 of 2025, OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project, Loan Authorization.
Thank you very much. Honour Minister, you can proceed with the... Honour Minister, second reading when?
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, today and now.
Honour members, I now put the question that second reading of the bill, number 26, 2025, OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project be taken today and now. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Honour Minister, you have the floor.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender, Water Supply and Sanitation Authorization Bill be read a second time. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the bill before the House seeks to authorize the Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization to borrow from OPEC Fund for International Development, OPEC, funds amounting to $27 million, approximately 47.3 billion Malawi kwacha, to finance the implementation of Gender, Water Supply and Sanitation Project. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, sir, the overall objective of the Gender, Water Supply and Sanitation Project is to expand access to safe and reliable water and to improve public health and environment sustainability through the provision of potable water, enhanced sanitation, hygiene, and solid and liquid waste management services at Gender Town and the surrounding areas. Specifically, the project aims to, 1, improve access to safe and reliable water by increasing water production, extending the distribution network, and improving service infrastructure to ensure safe and reliable water access for all households and institutions in Gender and the surrounding areas. 2, to construct water supply system with production capacity of 4,826 cubic meters per day, comprising of the following elements. 1, reinforcement concrete well, a raw water pump station, raw water main pipeline, water treatment plant, clear pump station, clear water transmission pipelines, service reservoirs, auxiliary buildings and access roads, booster station, distribution pipelines network, and power supply. And also the project aims at improving public health and environment sustainability through enhancement of sanitation infrastructure, strengthening of solid and liquid waste management systems, and promoting hygiene practices to reduce sanitation-related diseases and groundwater contamination. Thirdly, the project also aims at supplying and deliver 5,000 water meters, motor vehicles, materials for water connections and laboratory equipment. It also aims to implement Katete and Champira forest catchment activities, including the catchment delineation, creation of buffer zones, and community sensitization, and also promotion of good farming practices such as contour farming, deep bed farming, and also deal with the issue of soil erosion by controlling and promoting the provision of to farmers of Mr. Secretary Speaker, it is also this project also deal with reforestation by promoting the provision of 250,000 tree seedlings, improve sanitation and hygiene services in households, institutions, and public places through the provision of treatment facility, and also 2 Blaton blocks at the Gender Secondary School. The project also, I think, will deal with water, sanitation, and hygiene facilities at a main bus terminal, and also do the landfill for solid waste disposal management, a solid waste and water waste collection trucks, and sanitation equipment for handling solid and liquid waste. It will also provide capacity building and enhance operational capacity. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, as honorable members may be aware, Gender Town has grown from a mere police roadblock checkpoint in the early 1990s to a busy trading center with a market, tomato processing factory, bus depot, several shop outlets and rest houses, and the fast-growing residential compounds. The main piped water supply system for Gender and the surrounding areas is the Gender Water Supply System, which is growth center exclusively. The water supply infrastructure was constructed in 2015 with financing from local development fund, and it was designed for year 2022 water demand. However, the project was not implemented in full. As such, the system is not able to produce and supply adequate water to satisfy the demand. In addition, water is supplied and treated to the consumers, which puts the communities at Gender at risk of contracting waterborne diseases, supplied water. The other system is the Champira Rural Gravity-Fed System, constructed in the early 1980s, which serves Champira, Chikata, Helen, Kamatao, Kapopo, as well as part of Gender Rural Growth Center. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the existing Gender water supply system has the following challenges. The existing raw water sources for Gender water supply system can only supply 380 cubic per day against the year 2045 maximum day demand of 7,301 cubic meters per day. The existing raw has high levels of arsenic, whereas the water is supplied to the communities and treated. And the other challenge is that the water supply system has very small diameter pipes and inadequate capacity facilities such that small consumers receive water only during some hours of the day. The system has very old pipes, which leaks badly, such that non-revenue water is very high. Newly developed areas are not supplied with potable water, as there is no water supply infrastructure. Communities in those areas use unsafe water. And the cost of maintenance of existing facilities is very high, as the facilities are very old. There is also limited storage capacity for water, such that water stops running consumer taps immediately there is a pipe breakdown and or power outage. And there is also very limited sanitation and hygiene services at Gender. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, it is therefore very obvious that the project is well overdue, and that the benefits to be realized from this project cannot be overemphasized. The Gender water supply and sanitation project will improve the general livelihood and productivity of the people of Gender Town and the surrounding areas. Furthermore, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, the project will also greatly contribute to the reduction of the top leading causes of death in Malawi, which are diarrhea diseases, which is, I think, accounts for almost 18%. In addition, the project speaks to the enabler number 5 of the Malawi 2063 first 10-year implementation plan, is MAIP 1 on human development, and it is also in line with the Sustainable Development Goal number 6 of providing universal access to sustainable clean water and sanitation by 2030. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, this loan from OPEC Fund is being provided to the government of Malawi on soft terms, which are as follows: interest rate of 1% per annum, commitment fees of 0.5%, and 3 loan repayment period of 20 years, inclusive of the grace period of 5 years. The Honorable House may also wish to be advised that this loan facility is concessional. Terms have a grant element of almost 35%, which is above the recommended threshold of 35% on loan concessionality. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, sir, you may wish to be advised that this means that government will be required to repay the loan, commitment fees, and interest charges out of the General Consolidated Fund. It is for this reason that the government is requesting for approval from this August House to access these funds which are on favorable terms. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, in view of the anticipated huge positive impact of this project on the people of Gendertown and the surrounding areas, this project is very critical and therefore seeks the support of this August House. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, allow me to mention and stress that these terms are the best terms a country can get from the OPEC Fund. May I therefore invite honorable members to join me in thanking the OPEC Fund for International Development for providing this credit to the government of Malawi, and I call upon the August House to support the bill. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister of Finance. Before I recognize the opposition spokespersons, honourable members, I wish to inform this August House of the presence of distinguished visitors in the gallery. We have two sets of visitors. The first one is a group of 101 students from Abubakar Tayyub Girls Islamic Education Center. They are from Salima Central constituency, and they are in the gallery, so I thought before they leave Parliament, they should be appreciated. Can I first ask the honourable member for Salima Central to rise? Can you, the honourable member for Salima Central, rise? And ask our visitors from Abubakar Tayyub Girls Islamic Education Center to rise. Can you please rise? Thank you very much for coming to Parliament. You are welcome, and I understand there's also a grouping of 36 students from Asalam Boys Secondary School in Mangochi. They are from Mangochi Mkunguru constituency. I don't know if they are still in the gallery. If they are, can you please rise so we can appreciate you coming? The honorable member for Mangochi Nkunguru is not in the house. Can I request the honorable member for Mulanje West to rise so the students can appreciate you on behalf of Mangochi Nkunguru, who is not in the house? Thank you very much for coming to Parliament, and welcome to Parliament. I was being advised that they are from Asalam Boys Secondary School in Mangochi Nkunguru, which borders the Honorable Minister of Information. Can the students rise again from Mangochi? The Honorable Minister of Information would like to see you. Who is your, they are neighboring constituencies. Thank you very much. You can sit down. Thank you very much. Welcome to Parliament. Allow me to recognize spokesperson on this bill from the Malawi Congress Party. The honorable member for Deza Kasina, are you rising as a spokesperson?
Yes.
Thank you. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, for recognizing people of Deza Kasina to speak on the bill on the bill which is on the floor, representing the mighty Malawi Congress Party. Let me thank the President of the mighty Malawi Congress Party, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, and the Leader of Opposition for recognizing people of the Zakasina to speak on this bill. First, let me congratulate the Minister of Finance for
for presenting this bill, the bill which seeks to authorize the government to have a loan from OPEC fund to provide water and sanitation at Gender Trading Center. I want to agree with the Honorable Minister that indeed Gender Trading Center is no longer just a bus station or a roadblock. It's a fast-growing trading center. That's why the previous government, under the leadership of His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, thought it wise that people of Gender and surrounding areas deserve to have clean water and issues of sanitation. Because this bill under OPEC was approved on 29 July 2025. And I should commend the Honorable Minister and the new government for continuing this bill, because it's for the good of people of Gender and surrounding areas. To agree with the Minister of Finance, as a government, as a government in waiting, which we are coming back in 2030, we are supporting the bill to allow government to borrow this money. But I want to ask the Minister of Finance that while OPEC is giving us this money, we should also, as a government, meet our obligations to fund the other components, which, as a government, we are supposed to meet, because we have seen it that sometimes the donor these people who are helping us, they are going to help us, but as a government, we fail to meet our obligations to fund the other components. So on that one, I would want to make it known that let government commit their obligations to fund this project. But also, I should commend the Minister of Finance. I think it's the first of its kind with this new government that they'll bring in this house a loan authorization with a less interest. The 1% interest from OPEC, it's, as you said, it's very reasonable. And it's very favorable for the country. But it must all be put on record, as the Minister of Finance said. This loan, it has a repayment period of 20 years. And we are only starting paying back after 5 years. Meaning, when Malawi Congress Party is back in power in 2030, from November, we are the one to start repaying this loan. This is what happened in 2020 to 2025. The previous government was paying loan which was borrowed some 10 years back. Because why I'm saying this, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, is because when we sit here as members of Parliament and authorize these loans, we are the very same people, we go out there and start telling the public misinformation that this government overborrowed or this government is borrowing more, when we know in actual sense that some of these loans, the government, they just adopt because of the payment mode, like the one we want to approve this afternoon, which we're only going to start paying 5 years from now, which is 2030, under the new administration of Malawi Congress Party. So that I needed to put that on record. But also on the reforestation, if you're looking at the components of this loan, it's talking about the implementation of Katete and Jampira forest catchment activities. And one of it, through Chair, is to provision of 250,000 tree seedlings. It's a good initiative. But then I wanted us to go further. Instead of just providing the tree seedlings, we should also make sure we are able to sustain and to ensure that those tree seedlings, they have grown into trees. Because every year we have a season of planting trees as a country, but we don't look after them. So I hope the Minister of Finance, this loan has a component to make sure that these 250,000 seedlings we are providing under the Katete and Jampira afforestation program, we are able to follow through and make sure that these trees are there. But also in the issues of waste management, which is one of the components of this loan, I think as a country, we need to now to move ahead and have a proper policy on waste management policy. Not only, because the issue of sanitation, it's a big issue and it's a challenging issue globally. As we are talking now, I know in Brazil, the issues of COP30 is happening. It's an issue of sanitation and issues of taking care of natural resources. But issues of waste management, not only in gender, even in our cities, even here in Long, how we dispose of our waste management is a challenge. So I think we need to come up with a proper policy to ensure that as a country we have stiff penalties, but also a proper guidelines on how we are going to manage waste management. Not only the provision of trucks and whatever as means of waste management. That is not going to help this country. Very lastly, before I yield the floor, through chair, is also, while we're commending the Northern Region Water Board, because this is Northern Region Water Board, I now cry for Central Region Water Board, because we are seeing so many bills, it's either Northern Region Water Board, Southern Region Water Board, but Central Region Water Board, I think it's one of the ineffective water board. We have districts, we have townships in Central Region. We have Chimbia, we have Ulintipe, we have Bembege, where we have our investor. Mr. Speaker, I should put it on record. As someone from Dedza, we have an investor who we are always proud of, who invested in Bembege through Bembege FM, and he's right here in this house. So I wanted to put on record that even Bembege Trading Center, we need the clean water at one point. So we need the Central Region Water Board also to be effective, so that people from Dedza, people from Cheo, and people from Trading Center, they can one day clap hands for this government that they have been looked after for water and sanitation. With these few remarks, Mr. Federal Speaker, as the mighty Malawi Congress Party, a government in waiting 2030, we support the bill. I submit.
Thank you very much. I now open debate, and by default, I still recognize the honour member for Mwanza Central, then Zimba South. In that order, please.
Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker, for recognizing Mwanza Central to put a word on Bill number 26. That seeks the Honorable Minister of Finance that seeks government to borrow equivalent of $27 million from OPEC fund for gender, water supply, and sanitation. Let me first commend the Ministry for providing water and sanitation, for prioritizing water and sanitation, which are not only essential for public health and socio-economic development, but also recognized by the World Health Organization and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 6 as critical human dignity and sustainable development. First Deputy Speaker, access to water and proper sanitation has far-fetched benefits. It improves public health, mainly reducing waterborne diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, and typhoid. And World Health Organization notes that adequate water and sanitation can prevent hundreds and thousands of deaths annually. First Deputy Speaker, this also helps to empower women and children, freeing them from long walks to fetch water, enabling school attendance, and also promoting gender equality. First Deputy Speaker, this also has the economic productivity. Healthier communities contribute more effectively to agriculture, small businesses, and local economies. And finally, this project also has an element of environmental protection. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, proper sanitation reduces contamination of rivers and groundwater, supporting sustainable ecosystems. I know that a similar project was undertaken in 2015, but the population at gender has grown rapidly. It is therefore crucial that The new initiative is designed with future population growth, ensuring it remains sustainable for decades, First Deputy Speaker. In this regard, I wish to offer advice to the Ministry to ensure projects infrastructure accommodates population growth and urban expansion, preventing the need for frequent upgrades. I also request the Minister to make sure that there is transparency during procurement of equipment and other materials. There is strong monitoring mechanisms for the project and timely completion with guarantee value for money, and that the benefits reach the intended communities. Actively involved local leaders, councils, and water users to promote ownership and sustainability. Finally, I want to also put it to the Minister. There is need to look at debt sustainability. The President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, during the address at the opening of the 52nd session of Parliament, highlighted that our economy is in distress. Currently, debt is at almost 21 point something trillion, and the Minister also mentioned that in this House. It is a very worrying situation. Currently, our debt GDP ratio is almost 86%, which is very unsustainable. So I wish to also request the Minister, though this loan is concessional, we need careful management in terms of financial sustainability to ensure that borrowing translates into lasting development outcomes. With these considerations, I support the bill, Honourable First Deputy Speaker, and commend the Minister for the visionary initiative by aligning with global standards, best practices, and long-term projections. The Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project, First Deputy Speaker, can transform lives, protect health, and also contribute to sustainable development for generations to come. With these remarks, I support this bill on behalf of UTM and my President, Dr. Dalitso Kabambe. I thank you, First Deputy Speaker.
Mzimba South.
Thank you so much, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, for giving the people Mzimba South to add a comment to debate on the OPEC Fund for International Development that will go towards the Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project, which will be financed by the $27,000. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, first let me thank the Minister of Finance. If there was one item, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, for the past 6 years that I've been standing in this Parliament, it was about water issues that we have had at Gender. And Mr. First Deputy Speaker, you know Gender very well. It's a good trading center that is growing. And for your information, Gender covers 3 to 4 constituencies: Mzimba Lwerezi, Mzimba South, Mzimba Southwest, Kasungu North, and also Mzimba Mperekezi. So all these 3 constituencies are covered by Gender. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, let me also thank the Minister of Finance. If you look at this bill, it's phrasing Gender as Gender Town. You know, normally we say Gender Trading Center, but I want to thank the Minister of Finance that with this project, Gender Trading Center will no longer be called Gender Trading Center. It's going to be called Gender Town because of the components that are inside it. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, this morning, I was at Gender when I was passing through. I was coming from the funeral from Chigude. I was at Gender. One of the issues that people highlighted there, who have been always highlighting, is the water problem. We have the Water Users Association there, but with the current population that is there, the Water Users Association, people there are always complaining that the Water Users Association, they're charging them every time, but there's no water. You go to households right now, you testify with me that they have got bills from the Water Users Association, but in actual sense, they don't tap water. So with the coming with this project, it will really give us a lift. On the other hand, if you look at gender also, you'll find that in 2 to 3 years ago, there was an expansion of the gender police unit to gender police station. Right now, we've got more than 100 police officers that are staying at gender, but they don't have good water. Right now, the government is also considering to uplift gender health center to gender community hospital. So all these facilities, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, who need water, and I'm happy that Minister of Finance has quickly come in to give a lift to the people around the gender. On the other hand, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I'm happy that this bill is also talking about the Katete and Champira side. If you go to Champira right now, you still more have problems of water. And I'm also happy that the forest will be tackled. We have got a water reservoir at the Champira forest. We call it Kamankuku. People have been struggling. We also have a Water Users Association at Champira who looks after the Kamankuku water reserve. And they don't have capacity to manage these things. So with the coming of this bill, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, it is a great relief of people around the Katete, people around the Champira. It goes up to Hoho, it goes up to Kankoli, Ehesheni, Champira, Kamatao, and also Chipata. Now, if you also go down to this bill, it talks that there will also be some two blocks that will be constructed at Gender Secondary School. This is another great relief. If you come to Gender and come at the Gender CDSS, you'll find that there are a lot of students that are maybe that need the school block. So with this component of this sanitation, they will also help us to construct 2 school blocks. So with these few remarks, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, people of Mzimba South are happy. People of Mzimba South give you salute to this government for considering as quickly as possible so that we can have water at Gender. May God bless you for considering us. May God continue being with you, Mr. of Finance, for giving us this water project. And I know the people at Gender are concurring with me because this has been a problem. And today you are here solving the problem of Gender. May God bless you. Thank you so much. I support the bill. Thank you so much.
In view of the massive support that the bill has received on the floor, Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that debate be cut out to allow the Minister of Finance to wind up the debate. I beg to move.
Thank you, honour members. We have a motion. The motion is to allow debate be curtailed, so the Minister of Finance should wind up debate. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. So, honour Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker. As way of winding up, I would like to thank the spokesperson for Malawi Congress Party and UTM for the support of the bill. Allow me to confirm to the Honourable spokesperson for MCP that indeed this administration will make sure that it meets its obligations and ensure that the project moves smoothly, and that will be done. And also I would like to assure the honourable member that indeed measures will be put in place to ensure that the tree seedlings that are planted, they are sustained and ensure that they grow and do not die. The experts are advising me that government is considering to achieve high survival rate. They will do that by doing what they're calling spot cultivation and prepare fire breaks almost every year so that maybe the seedlings are not caught by fire. I also want to assure and maybe agree with the honorable member that indeed, I think most of the water boards, we are talking about Central Region Water Board, Southern Region Water Board, and the other water boards, I think they need to emulate what Northern Region does. From experience as a former Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation and Water Development, indeed, it has always been Northern Region Water Board. You don't see much from Central Region Water Board. You don't see much from Southern Region Water Board. I would indeed agree that I think these institutions, they need to do better. What they are doing, I think they are starving their own people in their regions. So that I entirely agree. I also want to agree with the spokesperson for UTM on the issue of transparency, accountability, value for money, and ensure that the benefits accrue to the intended individuals or population. I would want to assure that indeed on the issue of loan sustainability, I would want to assure you that one, we'll make sure that we borrow less and make sure it is productive, and also ensure that we only borrow concession. That's the only way that we can reduce public debt. I would like also to mention that this particular project has been designed to cater for population projection to year 2045, meaning that we have taken into account the growth of the population over the period, so that as the town grows, we ensure that those are catered for by this water system that we are talking about here. Lastly, I would want also to assure the people of Zimba South that Gender will be a town, and we'll make sure that Gender becomes a town. Lastly, maybe it's an assurance also that the DPP administration always considers the Northern region as one of the important regions for us. I want to say this because I want you to be listening to this because it's very, very important. I want to confirm that the DPP administration considers the Northern region as important. That's why it puts most of the projects there. I just wanted to confirm to you that it is the DPP administration that did Kitipa water system, we did the Rump, we did the Zimba, we did Katabe, and now we are doing Gender. So I would like to assure you that indeed, be assured that they will be taken care of. With those remarks, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I therefore beg to move that Bill number 26, 2025, entitled OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project, loan authorization, be now read a second time.
Thank you very much, Honour Minister. Honour members, I now put the question that the bill number 26 of 2025, OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project, be read a second time. Those of that opinion say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Honour members, the bill is now on committee stage, and the
Bills committee stage, Bill number 26 of 2025, OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender Water Supply and Sanitation, loan authorization.
Honourable members, I recognize a former chair of this House, and the only one remaining now is the Honourable Member for Salima North
Salima Central West.
Salima Central West to chair the committee stage. Salima
Former
Central West.
Chair for Transport and Public Infrastructure.
Those are his credentials to chair the committee stage. Thank you.
Honorable members, welcome to committee stage of the whole House. And we're dealing with Bill number 26 of 2025, OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender, Water Supply, and Sanitation Project Loan Authorization. I wish to inform you all that so far, the chair has not received any notice of proposed amendments on this bill. Therefore, if nobody wishes to speak, I now put a question. The question is that clauses 1 to 6 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye. Aye. And those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. Therefore, the motion is carried, and therefore the clauses 1 to 6 stand part of the bill. Honorable members, in conclusion, at this stage, I wish to inform you that this marks the end of this committee stage of Bill number 26 of 2025. Thank you so much for your attention. And remember, it is OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender, Water Supply, and Sanitation Project Loan Authorization. Thank you.
Report stage, Bill number 26 of 2025, OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender, Water Supply, and Sanitation Project Loan Authorization.
Thank you very much. I now call upon the Honourable Minister of Finance to report on the bill.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, I beg to report that Bill number 26 of 2025, entitled OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender, Water Supply, and Sanitation Project Loan Authorization, went through the committee stage without amendments, and therefore I beg to move that the third reading of the Bill number 26, 2025 be taken today and now.
Thank you very much, Honour members. I now put a question that third reading of the bill be taken today and now. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. and the motion is carried.
Bills third reading, Bill number 26 of 2025, OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project, loan authorization.
Minister, third reading.
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that Bill number 26 of 2025, entitled OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project, loan authorization, be now read a third time and passed. I beg to move.
Honourable members, I now put the question that Bill number 26 of 2025, OPEC Fund for International Development, Gender Water Supply and Sanitation Project, be read a third time and passed. Those of the opinion say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion has passed, and the bill has passed. Thank you. Honourable Minister of Finance for those bills, and may you go and implement on the bills, and congratulations to the House for the bills that we have processed this afternoon, and indeed for the people of Gender Town, represented by Honourable Chamblanyina Jere. Congratulations. Leader, I see you rising.
Just to join you, First Deputy Speaker, in congratulating the House for passing these two very, very important money bills. And because of that, First Deputy Speaker, I would like to beg that we have an early adjournment, taking into account that members did not have a health break, dedicating themselves to serving Malawians. I therefore beg that
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.